beautiful clouds. It's finally not 90 degrees where I live, so I'm enjoying this cloudy weather while it lasts. I've been sick for the past week and a half, right after my husband and daughter have been sick too. I think a lot of people have been getting pretty sick, and sounds like it's been lasting a while. Influenza too, allergies, just so much mucus. Feels like we're finally utilizing all the over-the-counter medications that we've been having just sit in our cabinet for a while. I feel like as much as it's been kind of exhausting, busy just trying to keep everybody somewhat healthy, sane in the time that we've spent indoors. I think a lot to reflect on over the past couple weeks and even this past year already so far. It's already going to be April, which is crazy. I feel like I'm a little bit more clear about what kind of my day-to-day goals, intentions, what I want the feel and flow to be like going forward compared to what it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, especially a year ago. Just a lot of shifts in the positive direction. One thing I noticed the past couple weeks as I've been sick, we've all been sick, as I've been trying to preserve my energy levels. I felt like it kind of helped put things into perspective. Even just kind of parenting my daughter. She'll be turning 3 next month already. But I think normally when I kind of have like a little reaction to an outburst, I feel like recently, I would call them outbursts, but just, reactions to things that she's very, very vocal about if she wants things to be done by her only, or she just wants, to hold on to something herself. It just goes from 0 to 100, just, screaming. And I know she's still figuring out, how to be vocal in a way that's a little bit more well-mannered. But normally before I'd, react to the reaction that it's like, hey, my ears hurt, I don't like getting shouted at. To when I was sick, I'm just like, I just get a little, one of those little shrugs or something, or I just kind of redirect my attention somewhere else. And I felt like it felt so much better to not be so reactive, and really just kind of not give my power away in that regard, just because I know it happens so frequently. And she's still adjusting to things, life changes and getting over being sick. And I was on the start of my being sick too, so I don't know, it just felt like I got to a point where we could kind of like see eye to eye a little bit and kind of match each other, which it felt very very satisfying. Because I think from 1.5 to 2, her being somewhat vocal, but also getting a little bit frustrated about trying to vocalize what she needs or wants, and having that gap of like how she can communicate it was really distressing for her. And I'm like, well, it's a constant life skill. It's definitely something that I'm nowhere near close to mastering too. So it's really helped me just kind of put things in check, or put me in check in general. So yeah, these have been good things. I had plans to keep up with an exercise routine before I get her up in the morning for school, and life has a way of just saying, hey, you can have the best intentions and lay it out very nicely, and then at some point you're just gonna get knocked off, and then you go back to it again, or you readjust somehow. And these are good things, because I think as soon as I got sick and I realized like I needed to take it easy a little bit more, I went back to a yoga practice that I kind of have been set on the back burner for probably a year or so. But yeah, it felt good to do some kind of movement and really just have that mind-body connection. Because I think even getting into an exercise routine, I was getting a little bit too focused on the outcome of just, getting through the workout or trying something else, when I was kind of losing a little bit of that mind-body connection there. So even when I got pregnant too, I was first week after I had that positive line, I was like, all right, I am getting all the healthy foods from the store. I am gonna get into an exercise routine that's realistic for me. Let's see. So it was midsummer. So it was hot. I was feeling good, and then literally within the week, I was just oh no, nausea. I got really lucky that my nausea wasn't until the late afternoon or nighttime. So morning was fine, and then I'd come home from work, and then I just make my beeline to the toilet, yak it all out, and then I'm ready for dinner. So then I literally didn't have a routine or exercise barely at all until early this year. So call it 3 years, which is a really long time, and some of that hasn't been consistent for exercising for a while. I think probably the most consistent I was when I was in my professional school. I feel comfortable sharing that I went to PA school, so I had to go out of state, and so all I had was studying, and I wasn't really around my immediate family or friends. So it was just me and the books, and the gym, and a couple classmates, and then that was my life. So I think going to the gym was a really good way for me to decompress. Again, I think that mind-body connection definitely got lost over the years. So I'm happy to rekindle that and have a newfound appreciation for that. Definitely. And thinking about this past year and what my values and goals are moving forward. I don't want to settle for any full-time work where I'm really dedicating so much of my mental energy learning something really, really new. And I'm looking at the job market now, and most of them want full-time positions, which makes sense, continuity of care, a lot of different things. But someone who is a parent of a young child and wants to prioritize being there for their kids, pick up drop-offs at school and such, it's not really conducive to that. So I'm gonna keep looking, seeing what's gonna fit with my schedule and just lifestyle in general. It has to be something that's gonna be flexible, and I feel like picking a type of job that allows me to do that, it's honestly, that's just not something that I'd ever considered before, but now I just see that as a big priority for us right now. Is a big thing. Before, to be totally honest, I took a lot of pride in, wanting to earn an honest income, one that I can, support our family with, and I know come with a lot of responsibilities. And then it just feels like the move right now is like, no, not willing to give away that kind of energy for right now. Later might be a little bit different, but I think along with I'm assuming a lot of other millennials out there and millennial parents, we just been burnt out trying to climb the ladder, trying to get that position, trying to advance a career, and it's it's given us a lot of opportunities and a lot of cushion in some ways, where you get a little bit more flexibility compared to when we were starting out working minimum wage, some of us. But long term, or at least for the next 5 years, I'm like, is that hustle, that kind of grind, is it worth it when you come home exhausted and just a little grouchy, and you only have a certain enough amount of time to unwind for yourself after putting the rest of your house family to bed for the day? It's a lot to think about. And I think I'm trying to really think of things on a scale where it's they're kind of shades in between, different shades of gray. It doesn't have to be black or white, all or nothing, hustle, grind, or do nothing. But where's that middle ground where it's gonna work for our family? And I just feel like recently, it feels like we're finally able to just kind of take a step back and have a general kind of grand long-term scale, kind of view of our life, and not just get so sucked into the details of the day-to-day. They matter for their own reasons, but it's just stepping back and just finally coming to terms with hey, do these parts of our lives still work for us? Why or why not? And these kinds of conversations or, thoughts, they don't always happen organically. But yeah, a lot of times it's like when you're stuck in the day-to-day grind, like there's not really any catalyst for you to kind of stop and then think, should I or do I need to keep continuing on this exact path that I'm on? So yeah, lots to think about. And I just had an honest, reflection with myself, and it's really felt like it feels like I've been kind of chasing for or searching for this kind of feeling where I'm like, wow, like I feel more fulfilled, and I know it because like I'm just noticing certain things, like little details. I feel like I'm enjoying my time a lot by myself, with my partner, with my daughter, and it just felt like, wow, like I really want to savor this time and I want time to stop. Whereas, to be totally honest, like, yeah, for I don't know how many years, maybe decades, I just feel like, well, I want time to go by a little bit faster. Maybe we slow down for all the fun parts, but yeah, I want time to slow down. I want to enjoy this time with my daughter the way that she is. I want to enjoy time with my partner the way that he is. I want to enjoy this time of me the way that I am. So yeah, I just noticed this kind of mossy mustard yellow kind of rock there. I like this color. Yeah, I'll end my rambling kind of update here. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out my middle ground, new routine, working on some hobbies, projects that kind of refuel me. So yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take good care. Bye.